Okay, boys and girls, welcome back. Redmissed in the house once again. How you doing? I hope everyone's doing great. I'm doing great, and we, my friends, were just stretching our spandex. Now, we are playing some more WWE Supercard, and today, guys, as you guys know, we did go ahead and we grinded out the Seth Rollins like an absolute boss. We're not going to be playing any more of that because, well, obviously, we got all the stuff that we need, but because we grinded out so much of the Seth Rollins, we did absolute crazy work in the Money in the Bank. So you can see here that we pretty much went and grinded out like 2,000 points yesterday, which is a crazy amount of games to play because of the fact that I am playing under the 4-point banner. Now, I did go ahead and change in my team, and I put in all of my good cards, so all of my WrestleMania Pros and also my Ultimate Pros, which was quite good because I did go and get a lot of the 5-point games, but there were a couple of times that I had to take like the 4-point game instead. And it turned out being that in one game I got 23 points, in another game I got 21 points, and in the third game, I couldn't actually get to the end because I happened to get a bad team draw. So I got like my lower end cards from the picks. Now, the downside to that was obviously because of that, I only ended up getting something like 19 points or something. So I kind of proved to myself that my theories and my assumptions were correct. That if you have a WrestleMania card in your team, you could possibly face WrestleMania cards. Now, if you go ahead and put all of one tier card into your team, that is the maximum card that you will face. So, for example, if you have 50... Oh, no, don't pick that. Ooh, thank God. I nearly clicked the blue case thing, guys. So, as I'm saying, if you go ahead and have 15 Ultimate Pros in your team, you will only face an Ultimate Pro at best when it comes to these Money in the Bank points. But if you have 14 Ultimate Pros and one base WrestleMania Pro, whether it's non-leveled up, leveled up, pro'd WrestleMania 33, it doesn't matter what kind of tier it is, as long as it is a base or better WrestleMania card, that means that for all 5 of your matches, you will have the possibility of facing a WrestleMania Pro card. So bear that in mind, guys. Like, make sure that your whole entire team is all of one standard level, because then that's going to give you the bonus of winning. So as you can see here, we're still grinding out 40 points as easy as that. And we're still grinding up, getting a ton of points. We're currently at 4,000 points, which is absolutely beautiful. I am going to try and get the whole entire team of Ultimate Pros, because I would like to be grinding out the 150 points every 3 games, i.e. 50 points every game, because I would like to be able to get both the Carmella and also the Braun Corbin. Now, one thing that I was really, really intrigued about, and I looked at this out of curiosity yesterday, just when I was looking at stats. Now, if you go over onto the Twitters, you're going to be able to go ahead and see something quite cool, in fact. Now, I haven't got these stats written down because I haven't taken the time to write it down, because I wasn't going to show this in this video. But if you actually come down here and we scroll down to this right here, you can see here, guys, that if we click on the Fusion Carmella, now her power is 7,600. Everything else is like 7,7. So if we look at that, 7,6, 7,7, 7,8, 7,9. Okay, so basically it's 7,8,9. Well, basically 6, 7, 8, 9. So if we look at that right there, which is pretty good stats, they are really good for fusion stats. But the one thing that I did work out yesterday, guys, is if we click out of the Twitters and we go into the back into the Supercard, we're going to be tightening the ropes right now. So that's pretty cool. But if we take a look at the rewards over here and we go click on the Carmella card, now you can see here that her power and everything is actually 4-statting the other card. Now, I thought that she 3-statted the other card, but I miscalculated on the power, and I thought that the power of the fusion chamber card actually was better. So if you're planning on trying to get the fusion card Carmella, then you're actually it's going to be more beneficial for you to go for the money in the bank Carmella, because if you remember rightly, the fusion card was 7.6 for power, 7.7 for toughness, 7.8 for speed, and 7.9 for charisma. So on average, she's between 50 to 100 points better in every single stat when it comes to the money in the bank card, which is absolutely crazy to me, because if you look at the stats, unless the fusion card stats, when you put the when you put the tokens into the points, unless they turn out to be really, really high rated, then the Carmella from the money in the bank is going to 4-stat the Carmella from the fusion chamber, which is absolutely insane, especially with how long it could potentially take you to get 2 Carmellas from the fusion chambers. Now, you could be super lucky and get back-to-back Carmellas, and if that is the case, then congratulations, you just got super lucky. But then there's been times in the past when it comes to the fusion chambers that you will pro and you'll train and you'll train and you'll train and you'll train, and you still, after 10 cards, won't get the pro of the card that you've been trying to get all the time. So it's quite interesting, the fact that when I was looking at that, the fact that the brand new tier of fusion chamber cards aren't better than the money in the bank card, I was kind of surprised about that, and it's really interesting. So tell me your thoughts down below. Do you think that maybe the tokening of the money in the bank is going to be lower than the tokening of the fusion chamber card? I don't know. Because if you turn around and say that maybe the token from the money in the bank went and give, like, I don't know, say 100 points in that stat, but then the fusion chamber card gave 115 points, then yes, over the course of both cards, the fusion chamber card would be better than the money in the bank card. But I can't see them doing that. I can only see them doing the exact same stats. So it's kind of interesting to me, the fact that the money in the bank card is higher rated than the fusion card. But I guess at the same time, it kind of makes sense, because of the fact that if you're happy to grind out that card, then it would be kind of a little bit of a reward, knowing that if you do come up against the fusion chamber or fusion card Carmella, I guess it is a little bit of a reward, saying, well, you put the time and the effort in to grind out the money in the bank card, so you're going to win this card because they've basically played the game and just waited for the card to go through from the fusion chamber. So I guess there is a little bit of a reward for obviously grinding the card from the money in the bank, but from what I can tell, the Carmella is the same principle as the Alexa Bliss, and she still doesn't have the stats in comparisons to the Bailey that was the event card a little while back. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't playing the game again when the Bailey card was the event card, but if you token the Bailey card correctly, she can 4-stat the Carmella card. She can 4-stat the Alexa Bliss card when it comes to the Money in the Bank Alexa Bliss. But only if you token the Bailey correctly. if you don't token her correctly and you token her like predominantly like speed and charisma and stuff, then I believe that the Alexa Bliss will win in power or something, I've been told. But she'll still get like 3 statted in toughness, speed, and charisma. Which is a little bit unfortunate, but considering that I wasn't playing the game and I weren't able to get that card, the Alexa Bliss is a really big card to me. But I would be really intrigued to find out what the stats are of the Carmella card when she's pro'd, to see what the stats would be when it comes to Carmella versus the Bailey, and see if the Carmella will get 4 statted as well, because Carmella is speed and charisma. So that means that both Bailey and Carmella are both the same stats when it comes to speed and charisma, or they're not both the same stats, but they're both proccing the same stats. So it would be interesting to see how the Carmella card stands up towards the Bailey card, which would be really, really cool to me to see if maybe the Carmella card will actually challenge the Bailey card in the speed or the charisma. I'm intrigued to find out. So if any of you guys know, or if you happen to have a picture of the Bailey card when she's like non-leveled up, then go ahead and send that over to me on Twitter. Same name, Redmissed, over on Twitter. So go ahead and hit that over there and send me the picture so that I can find out and I can compare the stats and see just how well the Carmella Money in the Bank card is going to stand up to the event card of the Alexa Bliss. Now, why? Okay, so it's not Alexa Bliss at all, it's Bailey. So also, guys, tell me, how are you feeling about these Hall of Fame cards? Now, I've watched quite a few card pack openings on these Hall of Fame cards, and they look, for me, they look absolutely incredible. But from the card pack openings that I've seen, they are not worth the money. The range of what you can get inside the packs are just really not worth the money. I went and watched two separate people that actually spent like 100,000 credits on these things. Now, considering that they're like 5,000 something credits each, there's not that many, and you don't get as many as you really would like to, because of obviously, or you're always going to get a Hall of Fame card, but because they range from Harden to WrestleMania tier, there is a lot of cards in there that you can get that obviously you're not going to need. Now, for me, if I was to get any of the Ultimate cards or the WrestleMania cards, then obviously that would benefit my team. But if I went and spent like 5,500 credits and I got a Hardened or an Elite card, I'd be pretty pissed off, I'm not going to lie. So, tell me your thoughts on it down below. Do you think that they are really worth spending that money, or would you rather just go ahead and spend that money on something else? Because me personally, if I had to pick out of 5,000 credits on the possibility of maybe getting one card, the same amount of credits, you could grind out both of the event cards. That's a lot of credits to spend and not get a pro. So you've got to bear in mind, if you get super lucky and you open up 2 of them card packs, you've spent 11,000 credits to get that pro. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand that they're a good card and stuff, and they are a pro if you're able to get back-to-back pros, or back-to-back of the same card. Now, considering that there's 20 cards in the tier, 20 cards in the Hall of Fame cards, and they're spread across all of the tiers, the likelihood of you getting back-to-back cards of the exact same card, the exact same tier, for you to get a pro is ridiculously low. But I don't know. There has been reports of people showing videos of them opening up 2 packs, one after the other, and going and getting WrestleMania Eddie Guerrero and then WrestleMania Eddie Guerrero. So it can be done, but the likelihood that you're going to be that lucky to get that, I'm not prepared to take that risk. Now, considering that the event that has just passed, or should I say that's still going on, which is the Seth Rollins Ring Domination. Now, I got that card for a little bit of time and 600 credits. Now, considering that the 600 credits that I spent on the game is what the game gives you for free when the game updated, I still have 700 free credits from the game in order to go ahead and get the second card next weekend. Now, obviously, I do know that it's across 2 weekends that you need to wait for the 2 cards, but you can get the event cards so much cheaper than you can pay out for these cards. So even if you take into consideration that you buy bouts, you buy titles, and you grind it out in a single day, you're probably still gonna be about maybe 7,000 credits cheaper to grind out the 2 event cards with title contracts and bout rebuys, just because of how much easier it is to get the event cards. So tell me in the comments down below, do you think that the new Hall of Fame cards are worth the money that you have to pay in order to get the stats? Now, I haven't looked at the stats properly, so I don't know how much the stats compare to the event cards, but tell me in the comments down below, do you think the stats of the Hall of Fame cards are so much better than the stats of the event cards that it would actually make you worth going and doing like different things, like make it worth going and buying those cards? From what I can tell, there's quite a few of the Hall of Fame cards that kind of only really like 1 or 2 stat some of the better cards. So when it comes to like Matt Hardy, he gets 2 statted by a couple of cards, and the Jeff gets 2 statted by a couple of cards, but there's not really any cards that go and really like significantly overpower the event cards that have been going on in the game right now. Now, obviously, if you haven't been playing, like such as me, who went on a break and you've just come back or whatever, if you're prepared to pay the money, then yes, you could potentially get a ton of really good cards and bring yourself up to the top tiers and be able to fight all of those people with event cards, because you would have the Hall of Fame cards and whatever. But do you think it's worth spending all of that money for those Hall of Fame cards? I'm going to go ahead and put it out there and say I really don't think it's worth it. If you happen to watch Super Zoma Barbecue's video, for example, he went and got like, I think it was something like 4 amazing sherries, or whatever it is that her name is, something like that. Sensational sherry, sorry. So he did go and get like 2 Pro Divas, but that's like all of the WrestleMania cards he got. I don't think he got any other WrestleMania 33 cards other than the Sandra card, which is actually, the Sherry card, which is, you know, don't get me wrong, it is good that he got 2 Pro Divas, but I think he spent something like 80,000 credits. That's a lot of credits to be spending on a game to only get 2 WrestleMania Pros. So I don't know. Now, considering he's from the UK, we can actually go over here and we can see how much those credits would have cost. So if we click on this right here, you can see down the bottom, for 15,000 credits, it's going to cost £76 and 60p basically. So he has got this tons. Like, he basically went and spent like £300 worth of money to go and open up all of those packets. £300 for 2 WrestleMania Pros. That is a ton of money to spend on these card packs, guys. So tell me in the comments down below. Oh, nice! We just got a hardened card. I thought that was a pro for a second then, but it wasn't. It's a hardened card. So, yeah. Tell me in the comments down below, guys, how you think it is, how much you think it's worth spending on those cards. But that's going to be it from me today. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure you hit that like button. please make sure you hit that subscribe button and show some support. We're going to continue grinding out the money in the bank, getting that up. I'm going to try and get another 2,000 points today, but we have started a money in the bank, an RTG. It's not even an RTG. It's a team battleground. So I am going to have to grind out the other game modes like the Royal Rumble, the ranked mode and blah 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 to be able to get my cards charged up. At the moment I haven't got too many card charges, so we're going to be working on that. As well as grinding out the money in the bank because I want to get that pro. But for me today, guys, that's going to be it. And I am going to see you in the next one. So peace on the streets.